Okay, now we're going to look at some transposition drills. These drills are designed to get you to where you can play in any key over the entire fretboard. And this applies to scales, chords, arpeggios, everything. But we're going to start with those tonic shapes we just learned because that's as simple of information as we can make it. And once you get it down with those, it'll be very easy for the next step then to apply it to scale patterns, chord shapes, kind of just about anything. So the first drill, very basic here, we're going to be dealing with one tonic shape at a time. And out of the 5 tonic shapes, just pick any of the 5. I'm going to pick the third one. And then you're going to pick a key, again randomly, like we did in the note names. I'm going to pick E. And then you're going to play the tonic shape in that key. So the tonic shape we learned it in, just to remind you, is here. The G's, 10th fret and 8th fret. And then move it to E. So we have E at the 7th fret, 5th string, and E at the 5th fret, 2nd string. And then you stay with that tonic shape and just pick a bunch more keys. How about C, A. It's okay if you want to do sharps and flats at this point if you're comfortable. You can keep it to the plain notes at first, but anything goes. How about D flat, F sharp, D, A. And that's it. That's pretty simple. The point is that you're staying with one tonic shape for about 5, 6 keys. Don't kind of jump around the tonic shapes at first and take it to that level right away. Remember, always starting off simple, focusing on accuracy and a very kind of calm and controlled manner. That's the best way to approach anything new. Let's do one of the other tonic shapes real quick. I'll do the 5th one. It was up here in G. How about B flat, E, B, A flat, C sharp. So if you made any kind of tape or anything to use for the note names drill, that would work here as well. And the idea is to just take a one pattern, one tonic shape at a time and drill in the keys. One thing, when you start to get comfortable there, I was pretty much sticking to 1 octave. But if you want to start addressing the 2nd octave, this might be a good time to do it because you can do the drill, but when you play the tonic shape, play it in both octaves if possible. So say if I was doing the one I just did in the key of A, tonic shape number 5, you can also play it here. Or if you were doing a D, you could squeak it in up here. And so on. So only if it's possible. There'll be some keys and some tonic shapes that, especially if they're around the middle of the neck, you won't be able to play them down or up an octave. But now we're really starting to map out and dial in the whole fretboard. Okay, that's the first drill. Now the second drill you can do is more of the big picture again as we zoom out. Here we're going to play all the tonic shapes just in one key. So pick a key. I'm going to pick, let's do A. And then we're going to play the tonic shapes over the entire range of the fretboard, all of them in A. And you got to start somewhere, so let's start at the lowest possible tonic shape. So for that, in the key of A, that's going to put this tonic shape right here. We have one we learned up here earlier. It was at the 10th fret as G, but we can slide that down and it fits because, of course, open strings count in these tonic shapes. So the first one would be here, and then you just go in order all the way until you run out. And that's it. I covered the whole fretboard, actually from open all the way up to the last fret on this guitar. It depends on what guitar you're playing, of course, how many frets you have up here. But you can clearly see that that is all about now visualizing the entire fretboard. And quite often when we're playing music, we'll be in one particular key for an extended period of time, and you want the fretboard to just be available to you. It's very common for us guitarists to have certain positions and zones of the fretboard where we get a little tentative, and you know, we're strong down in say an A down here, but then playing up in this region might get a little. This is the way to dial that in, so you're not tentative in any way, shape, or form. So it's about being able to think in one position and then zoom out and see the whole fretboard. Now, a third drill you can do is to do all the tonic shapes in a bunch of keys, but all in one position. We're kind of back to zooming into the position thing. So if I were to do, say, 7th position, and what I'm going to do is call out notes. Again, the order could be random. It could be in the circle of fifths, which is a theory term, or in order. The point is the notes are kind of coming at you, the keys, and then you're going to respond with the tonic shapes. But the game here is to stay in the seventh position, but give or take 1 fret. Depending on the key and the tonic shape that's available to you, you'll probably have to scoot over 1 fret or the other, and that's okay. It's kind of it's a kind of a game. How close can you stay to this one area? So if I were right here, and I'll do them, say, I'll start on C and go down in whole steps. So C would be right here. I'm staying in the 7th position. B flat. So I had to go up 1 fret. A flat. And then we have G flat. Then we have E, D. If I were to go down a whole step, that would put me back at C, but I kind of want to go through all 12 notes, so I'm going to go down a half step to D flat. There was D, D flat's just same tonic shape, down 1 fret, but I'm still staying right around this neighborhood. And then we have B, so a whole step down from that. That puts us back to here. And then A, G, F, E, D, C. So I'm right back where I started. Now I went through that kind of fast, but if you sit with it and work it out, remember when you're working on this stuff, just worry about accuracy. You basically want to approach it as you have all the time in the world to get to that next note you need. That's the best way to start anything. I'm just doing it fast because we have lots of material here to cover. And I just want to set you up on the drill, because once you get it down, it's pretty straightforward. So what I did was I played, staying right around this zone of the fretboard here, I went through all 12 notes of the chromatic scale. And you could do it in any order, randomly, whatever. And of course, you can do that starting anywhere on the fretboard. So if you were to do that drill, that's really going to dial things into you. You'd want to do the first and second drill a bunch before you started doing this. This one definitely takes it up a notch. Because what it's all about here is response time. That's what these drills are all about. Pretty much through the whole DVD, we're talking about training our eyes, minds, and fingers to map out the fretboard with these structures. And how they serve us when we're actually playing music is that as you're playing songs, you're in certain situations and you have to deal with being in a particular key at a particular moment, maybe even be thinking in one key while another key's going on, again, zooming in and out of the situation. So it's just about how quick you can do that. By setting yourself up with these patterns and shapes and whatnot, it's going to make you much, much quicker with your response time. And, essentially music is about more of a right brain skill, very creative and emotive and just global thinking. And that's what we strive for in music. What we're looking at here today is very much the left brain aspect of music, of course, kind of the math and numbers of it all. And the idea is not to be thinking about that when you're playing. Don't forget that we're programming all of this into our head so that when we are playing music, we can actually not think about that and just let go and let it happen. And of course, that means you need to have these note names and tonic shapes and some of the other things we'll talk about here. You got to have them down really, really well in order for that to work. And that's what the drills are all about.